Almost every time we see in the gospel accounts, Andrew is bringing someone to Jesus. Andrew had a full-blown hook-up-a-brother ministry. Lord, help us here today. Remember that his first act after discovering Christ was to go and get Peter. That incident set the tone for Andrew's style of ministry. At the feeding of the 5,000, for example, it was Andrew who brought the little boy with the loaves and the fishes to Christ. All of the other disciples were at a loss, didn't know what to do or how to obtain food for the multitude. But Andrew, who don't do nothing but work in the background. Andrew, who had that obscure ministry. Andrew, who's not out front with Peter, James, and John. Andrew, who seems like he's forgotten about in the scripture when there was over 5,000 hungry and the other disciples, 11, didn't know what to do. It was Andrew who said, there's a boy over there. He got 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Jesus, what can you do with that? It was Andrew who took the young boy to Jesus and said, there was a lad who had 5 barley loaves, 2 small fish. Remember, he started off by hooking up a family member and grew from his family. He did not focus on just Peter. He grew from his family. And now, here he is in the latter part of the gospel. He is responsible for hooking up over 5,000 with a meal and a message. I'm preaching a whole lot better than they responded. Lord have mercy. He's a hook-up-a-brother ministry man. Andrew was responsible for 5,000 people. Temporal needs being met. When you hook up a brother, you got to consider the spiritual, of course, but then you got to consider the whole man. Yes, sir. Andrew understood it's kind of hard for Christ to be able to preach to these folk with their stomach growling, which tells me that if you have the spirit of Andrew, that you're able to look at the total man, not just part of a man. One of our problems is we don't know how to look at the total man. If they ain't saved, we don't want to help them, but sometimes you got to help them and then get them saved. Look at somebody and say, hook a brother up. Yeah, hook a brother up. Andrew shows us how to hook a brother up. Look at your brother and say, hook a brother up. Every man look at somebody and say, hook a brother up. Your business is up and running. Why don't you hook me up? Why don't you show me how you got started? I ain't asking you to fund it. Just give me your wisdom. Impart in me your knowledge. Your business is up and doing good. How about you hook a brother up? I don't have to do it on the same side of town. I'll go out of town. Just hook a brother up. You hear everything. You're the one around town. You know I'm unemployed. You know who's hiring. How come you won't tell me that your company is hiring? You know I'm struggling, trying to feed my family. You know they got signs posted on your job. Come out, help wanted. And I don't run across your mind. Why don't you hook a brother up? You know you can do this work on my house. You know somebody who can do the work cheaper because they did your house cheaper. Why you sit back and let me pay double for my repairs when you know you knew somebody who could hook a brother up? Lord have mercy. Why don't you share your blessings with me? Why don't you lead me to the place where you got your discount? You knew they had shoes on sale. You know what size I wear. I'd have paid you back. Why couldn't you hook a brother up? Lord have mercy. Andrew realized immediately that nothing he received of Christ was to be concealed, but rather shared. He found his brother. He found his brother. He found his brother. He found his brother, implying that when he left Jesus, he didn't really know where Peter was, but he knew he had to find him. Is he in Dothan? Is he in Galilee? Is he down in Capernaum? I don't know where he is, but I got something my brother needs. You know I needed that help. You could have called my mama. You could have called my wife. You could have tracked me down. Why didn't you call my sister? You know how to reach me if I got something you need. But I'm so glad Andrew went seeking, trying to find Peter, and he did not stop. The same day, he found his brother and brought him to Christ. Look what he told him. He said, Simon, I found him. I found the answer. I found the man. I found the one John been talking about. I found the long-awaited King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Messiah. I found somebody who can help us both. Come, let me hook a brother up. So, when you follow this thing, there's some hookups throughout Scripture. I don't have time to tell you all the hookups that I have, but at least let me tell you about one. Joseph teaches us that if you're going to let God use you to hook up a brother, you must go beyond your personal feelings. Although your brother may have mistreated you, although it's your brother's fault that you've been in the pit, although it's your brother's fault that you've been locked up, although it's your brother's fault that you've been through hell, you gotta have enough God in you to look beyond your brother's fault and see his need and still hook a brother up. Lord have mercy. When Joseph got out of jail and got to a place of power and wealth, I'm so glad he didn't forget a brother, but he hooked his brothers up and saved their life. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, hook a brother up. Save a brother. Save a brother. Help a brother. That's what the hymn writer said. Throw out the lifeline. Someone is sinking today. Throw out the lifeline. Save a brother today. Tell your neighbor, I'm getting ready to hook somebody up. I'm getting ready to share what God put in me. The songwriter said, if I can help somebody as I pass along the way, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, then and not until then shall my living not be in vain. Tell your neighbor, we can help one another. We can encourage one another. We can pray for one another. We can pull and push each other into our purpose, into our destiny. Tell your brother, if you can help me, help me. Tell him. Lord have mercy. I said, look at your brother, look at your sister, and say, hey, quit ignoring me. Shake him, and say, wake up in here. You'll see me talking to you. Tell him, talk to her. Say, you see me trying to get your attention. You ain't all that sleep. You ain't all that tired. I'm trying to tell you something. Look at your neighbor and